Good day everyone and Dr. Lau. Today our group number 6, we have me, Suyumin, and my two other group members named Irfan and Danish that will later present after my part. So we would like to deliver our assignment on which video conferencing or webinar tools are suitable to conduct online lecture, tutorial, and meetings with students. So video conferencing enables online communication for audio meetings, video meetings, and seminars with a lot of built-in features such as chat, screen sharing, and recording. These applications are implemented to enable long-distance or international communication. It also enhances collaboration and reduces travel costs. So this makes it very accessible and affordable to everyone in this world. Video conferencing solutions eliminate the need for in-person attendance in both quick scrums and important meetings, adding more convenience to daily schedules for all involved. And it also ensuring open and consistent communication between teams. So, according to Rebecca's review, she provided almost 20 video conferencing tools. Example like Zoom, Poly, BlueJeans, PGI, Intrado, Starleaf, Cisco, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, Ring Central, and so on. This enables businesses to continue to operate, especially during the pandemic. So does this applies to our education system, where students can't have physical class, but we definitely can have a video conferencing lecture. In this slide, Microsoft Teams free version has quite limited features where it has only partial features that is included, and the participant capacity is 100 participants, and the maximum meeting durations are 60 minutes compared to other paid versions are 24 hours. The meeting recordings are not included in the free version of Microsoft Teams, but definitely is for the paid version. For the file attachments in chat, the maximum are 2 GB per user, but for the other paid version are 1 TB to unlimited. And the file storage for the Microsoft Teams free version are 10 GB across all teams. And so does the paid version, will definitely have more file storage. So as a student does not need that much of file storage attachments in chat or meeting recordings unless it's needed for meeting recordings. So for education, it is definitely sufficient for the education system or lecture classes. So now we will be looking into Zoom meeting slides, where the pricing plan for basic, pro, and businesses are free version for the basic plan, $149.90 for the pro version, and also $199.90 for the business version. So according to this pricing plan, we would find pro version seems to be the most suitable plan for the education system for our faculty or for our classes, because we would be having a lecture classes for up to more than an hour, which doesn't suit into the basic plan with only 40 minutes of group meetings. But for the pro version, it has a group meetings up to 30 hours. And also the pro version provides social media streaming and 1 GB of cloud recordings, where lecturers can also record some important points during the meeting, where it's important to the students and able to share it within classes. So for the basic and pro, it has participants for hosting up to 100 participants. But the businesses, we will be able to host up to 300 participants. So for our faculty, for the education system tools that is currently suitable for the students in our campus would be the pro version with small teams. So in this slide, we will be recommending, it will be a recommended bandwidth that we have found in the official website of Zoom and Microsoft Teams. So for Zoom, it provides, if let's say today lecture classes that only consist of audio calling without any camera video conferencing meetings, if it's only audio meetings, for Zoom, it only requires 60 to 80 kilobytes per second up and down. And if we're to have a possibility to have video conferencing with a HQ quality, it needs up to 600 kilobytes per second. So with Teams, it only needs 30 kilobytes per second for audio calling, while 130 kilobytes per second for screen sharing and audio calling. This is what happens during our campus lecture classes, where we only have audio calling and screen sharing. So Microsoft Teams only requires 130 kilobytes per second. But for the Zoom meeting, it requires up to 50 to 75 kilobytes per second.
In the simulations conducted, we used the net limiter software to test 5 different broadband speeds, which are at 40, 80, 120, 200 and 300 kilobytes per second. We then simulate 4 situations which are happening during online classes in Unimas, as per shown in table below. Following are the test results of limiting broadband download and upload speed when using Microsoft Teams application. From the test, we can conclude that in every situation, if sender is only sharing content of PDF file, a minimum speed of 120 KB per second is needed to ensure a good two-way communication with receiver. Be noted that at this particular speed, the quality is rated between 3 to 3.7 out of 5 in all situations, while 200 KB per second is required for sender to share video contents in good quality at 4 to 4.2 out of 5. However, for test C, only 120 KB per second of broadband speed is needed to share both type of content. For bandwidth speed capped at 300 KB per second, all situations always provided excellent outputs to both sender and receiver. At this minimum speed, receiver can clearly see the videos at 480p quality with only slight delay, but sharing of PDF files are always excellent both in transition and contents. The test results are found to be accurate in comparison with the recommended bandwidth of using Microsoft Teams as per concluded in the following. Moving on to Zoom meeting. From the test, we can conclude that in every situation, if sender is only sharing content of PDF file, a minimum speed of 80 KB per second is needed to ensure a good two-way communication. At this bandwidth rate, the quality is rated at 3 out of 5 in all situations, while 120 KB per second is required for sender to share video contents in good quality at 4 to 4.5 out of 5. For bandwidth speed capped at 200 and 300 KB per second, all situations always provided excellent output to both sender and receiver. While at this minimum speed, receiver can clearly see the videos at 480p quality with only slight delay, but sharing of PDF files are always excellent both in transitions and content. In addition, PDF sharing at 100 KB per second bandwidth cap does not show any fallback or delay. The test results are accurate in comparison with the recommended bandwidth of using Zoom meeting as per concluded in the following table. Next, test conclusion. For both platforms, we did try each test with limiting the speed either at download or upload only. The results are the same for each party, where if the download or upload speed is capped, both parties will receive low quality of services from the platform. In overall, we can see that sharing of videos over both platforms require high throughput compared to sharing PDF file due to the bandwidth bottleneck. Bandwidth bottleneck will occur when video contents are being shared over low throughput as there is not enough bandwidth available to ensure that all data packets in the network reach their destination in time.
We have simulated a 10-minute online learning session. For this test, it requires students to switch off their webcam and microphone at all times. Students will open microphone if needed, or they can respond in the chat box. This condition will apply to depict student scenario as close as possible while maintaining the broadband data. As you can see in this figure, Zoom meeting costs student download traffic 7.56 MB and upload traffic 404 KB of data. Times that bandwidth with 5 and you will get 37.8 MB of data downloading and 2.02 of data uploading. That conclude for a full 50 minutes of a class sessions. If let's say student has 10 sessions per week and 40 sessions per month, times the previous bandwidth with 40 and we will have 1.5 GB of data downloading and 80.8 MB of data uploading. From Microsoft Teams, student will download 81.82 MB of data and upload 2.46 MB of data only for 10-minute class session. For the 50-minute class session, students will download 409.1 MB of data and upload 12.3 MB of data. Assume 40 class sessions per month times 40 with the previous bandwidth. Student will require 60.4 GB of download data and 492 MB of upload data. Based on previous assumption, student can take next 15 plan from DG for a Zoom meeting and next 35 plan from Microsoft Teams. Next 15 from DG is sufficient for a month online class session with Zoom platforms. It costs only 15 ringgit per month and subscriber will get 3 GB of high-speed internet with 30 days of validity, which is sufficient for 1.5 GB data estimation earlier. For Microsoft Teams, students need to take much expensive plan, which is next 35. For only 35 ringgit per month, subscriber will receive 30 GB of high-speed internet with 30 days of validity, and it is sufficient for a month online class session using Microsoft Teams that required 16.5 GB of data. In conclusion, we can see that different online learning platforms have different features and requirements which may affect the user experience, as not all users have stable and fast network connection, especially students in rural areas. Therefore, from this assignment, we have justified the minimum bandwidth requirement for both platforms and cross-check with telco provider on which broadband plans are suitable and affordable to be subscribed by Unima students. At the price 15 ringgit, next 15 broadband plan from DG is recommended for a Zoom meeting, while Microsoft Teams require the next 35 plans with higher quota at 35 ringgit respectively. For the student who has limited data, it is not recommended for them to switch on the webcam for the entire 15-minute duration, as this will cost a lot of bandwidth to them. From our experiment, switching on the webcam can increase the bandwidth up to 5 times more compared to switching off the webcam. This is a list of references that we use for this project. With this slide, I conclude our presentation with thank you very much for listening.